RTD Live Talk, Detroit's number one late night YouTube talk show this Wednesday evening. Excited to be back for another episode. Looking forward to sharing my thoughts on a couple important subject matters, as well as getting your take on whatever's on your mind, as well as whatever you guys want to touch on this evening. So, welcome to the live stream. And before I get started, I want to acknowledge the presence of those that are tuning in. Feel free to let me know where you're watching from via the chat. And then also, more importantly, when the phone lines are open, I want to hear from you because once again, it's not much of a talk show unless you have someone to talk to. So let's check in real quick. And of course, the phone line you can see is over my shoulder here, 313-462-0027. So when the phone lines do open up, make sure you give me a call. I want to hear your thoughts. And of course, the verdict is out and I got some thoughts I want to share. Definitely am surprised, but yet once again, it's just the first of many other cases that will be probably coming up in regards to the police officers, former officers, foreign law enforcement officers being on trial for some wrong that they've done. So we'll see what pans out and get your thoughts on that. So let me check into the chat real quick. We got Funny Colors. We got Jim Diggs, Tennessee, Indiana. What else? We got LBP. We got Lost for Words. Ricky Rax. It says, "Sup, Mike? It's Ricky checking in from Newark, California." Okay. Appreciate you tuning in. We got Tom. What do you got? DC Precise. We got Ed. Okay. Fair amount of people here. Tony B in the building. Appreciate you guys for checking in with me. Ed, Barlight Broker, Faith. All right. So I can go on and on and on, but I appreciate you guys for joining us. And then definitely it's not a talk show, as I mentioned, unless you guys want to talk to. And just to add a little twist on it, I'm going to put out the link. So if anybody wants to join me face to face and share a quick thought, I want to make sure that's available as well. So I'm going to put that out there when I get done with my little news recap of scanning the headlines and sharing my little 2 cents on them. And so either phone line or you can check in with me face to face and share a thought, share a question, whatever. Vinny Grant from Naples, how you doing, man? What else we got there? It says, James Mike, eager to hear and see God use his wisdom through you mightily tonight. Appreciate you, my man. Hopefully he does do such. Gerald, how you doing? We got Shane. A couple people checking in from Facebook. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Okay, so let me stop ranting and get right into the primary subject matters. Of course, a lot of subjects we can touch on. I'm just going to touch on the primary ones that came across my radar and announce some changes that I'm attempting to make on my end here. As I mentioned before, the algorithms are down. And so I'm trying to find a way to revive and bring some life back to the channel. And so apart from you guys hitting that thumbs up button, that definitely helps the algorithms. And then also sharing these videos, trying to get more people plugged in to the community would definitely help. But I'm going to try to do some shake up things on my side. But okay, so let me start ranting. Okay, let me do a little house cleaning first, and then I'll jump into some stories. All right, so very first thing, for those that are new to the channel, rethinkingthedollar.com is the primary website where everything goes back towards. And if you want to check in, I share articles, videos, gold, silver, crypto, you name it. Throughout the day, share there, so you'll always be kept up to date if you're interested. And then also on the Patreon side, as I mentioned, what I'm going to do, because the conversations have began to start heating up a little bit, getting a little bit more personal and drawing closer to home as things around us start to squeeze in on us. And so a lot of people who share some of their heartfelt thoughts out there, want to keep it more so even tighter. So what I'm going to do basically starting this week, we're just going to do Zooms, off-air Zooms, and they automatically, once we're done, they're erased. So no more saving them and archiving them. So if you're interested in joining the community and being a part of the face-to-face hangouts where we just, have some real talk, consider becoming a member of the Patreon team, link down below, and also supports the channel as well, and also gives you a chance to hang out off-air. And so social media-wise, if you click the tab below as well, all the social media platforms where RTD, Rethinking Dollar, can be found. Feel free to connect with us there so you can stay informed. And Discord right now and also Telegram are the most preferred, where we interact throughout the day sharing articles. And all the articles I want to share here comes from individuals in the community. You know who you are, so I appreciate you. Okay, so with all that said, let's dive right in. And so I want to talk a little bit about the psychological priming that has been done over the last soon-to-be year. And so as of last year, the concepts really became popular with the Banking for All Act and it has to do with the issuance or the rebranding of the current dollar paradigm. And so, of course, everyone knows that we're predominantly, probably 97% of the currency labeled as Federal Reserve notes, aka dollars, are already digital in nature. And so we're about, 2, 3, maybe $3 trillion worth of paper right now that's scattered across the planet. And so the push has been to rebrand the currency as they usher in an entirely new monetary system. And they're going to do it in a way where they're going to call it the digital dollar. But yet it's very unique in nature because it happens to be being introduced right now at the prime time as this blockchain boom is taking off and everybody's excited about the digital currency asset space. Okay, so here's an article that caught my attention. As I read through it, I highlighted a couple of things here, and a lot of things stood out to me as how you got all these economists and all these globally systemic important banks chiming in. They got a lot of analysts sharing their 2 cents on, how disruptive it's going to be and how it's much of a game changer it's going to be. And then if you look at some of the think tanks and inner working of the different groups or whatnot that's been formulated, also in partnership with the business, the BIS, they're all in on this agenda. So they're giving us all this so-called smoke and mirrors in front of us, but in actuality, as I already mentioned, I believe that the project's already ready to be rolled out. But Wall Street banks brace for a digital dollar as the next big disruptive force. And so, as I thumbed through this article real quick, I don't want to be too long, but yet a lot of things caught my attention. It says Wall Street is warning that the next big disruptive force is on the horizon. A digital dollar would resemble cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin or Ethereum in limited respects, but differ in important ways. Oh, really? So, okay. So, think about this. And I hate to beat the nail. The nail on it, whatever. Little analogy, I forgot it. But anyway, once again, like the fact they threw in, it resembles cryptocurrency. So think about this. Would they be able to really roll out smoothly a digital dollar or a Bitcoin or whatever, the Bahamian dollar, the Chinese digital yuan? Would they be able to roll all that stuff out in a smooth transition, effortlessly, without having to really sell the public and prime us with the idea of some new technology out here that's going to make our lives easier and all that other stuff? No, they wouldn't be able to do it. And so when you see articles where they talk about it resembles cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin or Ethereum, plays into how all this is intentional. All this is right on time to usher us into this new paradigm. And then it says here, rather than be tradable asset with wildly fluctuating prices and limited uses, so all the so-called bad aspects of the digital asset space, it says the central bank digital currency would function more like dollars and have widespread acceptance. So the central bank digital currency would function more like dollars. Okay, now, so here's the thing. If it functions like dollars, why not just keep the regular old dollars? Why not keep the current system we have as is? Why do you have to rebrand, recreate, or issue a whole new line of a currency? Oh, could that mean something that has ran its course? It has already dying or dying currently? Couple more things here. It says, but the momentum is building around the world. It says, here's a quote here from a chief economist at Morgan Stanley. A major move to introduce central bank digital currencies could actually disrupt the financial system, says chief economist. It says, said in report, efforts to introduce CBDCs are gaining momentum with as many as 80% of the world's central banks exploring digital currencies. So you mean to tell me all the central banks need to rebrand their currencies at the same time for some mysterious reason? Oh, it says some 60% are working on proof of concept testing though just 14 have actually launched a pilot program or are in development. And then, of course, there's a series of worries. And so the several worries that a lot of people will not hear on the mainstream news, or the cons of the people being willing to accept a rebranded form of our legal tender currency. And I put this on my Facebook just to get more people thinking about some of the things that will come into play. 3 areas that I want to touch on real quickly. I'm going to keep going. The fact that they're rebranding the current currency itself lets us know that something has ran its course and is dying. So what is this? What is the premise of this new currency? 3 things. Programmable currency, programmable in the nature of utilizing all the, the hype and all the bells and whistles of the blockchain is going to be rolled into this centrally controlled currency similar to what we have now, but yet programmable in the fact that it will come with all types of nuts and bolts and wrinkles and hiccups, expiration dates, and so much stuff that will make it to where it's literally what else I'm saying. It's literally a further method to invade and to steal from us at a much higher level because it will only be on the central bank digital currency ledgers and the commercial banks interconnect with it. Second one, it will be utilized as a surveillance mechanism, meaning that every time you scan your QR code or try to purchase something with your debit card that links back to your app, they will know exactly how much, what, where, when, and who you spent it to, and who you're sending it to, and all that stuff. And if they don't like what you do, what they see, they're going to make sure you know that you can't do that freely. And the third thing is going to be instant taxation. As this MMT concept becomes even more obvious that the government's going to spend, and try to tax the wealthy, ultimately all it does is just puts one hand in one pocket and it takes it out the other, because the people who work for it in the middle are the ones getting screwed. So there will be no need to worry about anybody combating or arguing about taxation, because they can just instantly change the taxation 20%, 30%, 40%, and bam, it's gone that quick. So those three areas there make it to where you will literally own nothing and you won't be happy with it. And so it's more to this article here, but I spent too much time on it. But I encourage you guys to take a look at it because it's interesting. Here's another article. I'm going to breeze through it quickly. It says, this caught my attention because this also, once again, it changes the whole education paradigm. It says nearly 50% of recent college graduates are jobless, survey says. And of course, this is a recent survey by Monster, but it says as a result of the COVID pandemic, according to a survey conducted by Monster, of course, whatever, actually 1,000 people participated in the Monster survey, and it was revealed that 45% of the class of 2020 were still jobless. So imagine, not only are a good portion of our future engineers and whatever else they might went to school with not currently employed, but they're probably loaded and saturated in student loan debt that I think last time I checked, it was, furlough. You can, get by without paying it for now, but they're going to forgive it. Biden's going to roll out some, probably in the next package, he's going to roll out some type of forgiveness and, you're good to go. But yet you still don't have a job and you still may not have the necessary skills needed to be productive in society. But yet this upcoming fall, they're going to be trying to get more kids to go to college at the same time that automation, robotics, artificial intelligence, is going to really dismantle any of the service style jobs that, for the most part, the only thing our country is good at, because we no longer manufacture anything. So not good news at all for those heading to college. And then here's something that's interesting. It says $1,000 a month, no strings attached. Garcetti proposes a guaranteed basic income pilot in Los Angeles. And then real quick here, it says under the proposal dubbed BIG, the Big Leap, which means basic income guaranteed LA economic assistance pilot, 2,000 Angelino families at or below the federal poverty line will receive $1,000 a month for 1 year, no strings attached. Yippee! Ain't that great? You get some currency, more currency. At the same time, you live in probably the most expensive state in this country. And once again, that $1,000 does not do anything to help you out of substance, but make your life more expensive overall. So just something worthwhile. Then here's another one here. I thought, and of course, most of these came from the chat, from the community. Appreciate you. And so this is from Wall Street Journal. It says cryptocurrency giant Binance US hires former top bank regulator. And so today in the Discord, for those that were there, I saw a lot of back and forth between Daryl and a couple other people sharing their thoughts on how the Binance hire pretty much puts Binance in a position to work its way into the U.S. banking system, perhaps, as the too big to fail banks will be forced to probably have to merge or take on the exchange model that the Coinbases, the Krakens, and the Geminis have, doing the commercial banking that's failing, and also weeding in the new Federal Reserve digital dollar, as well as all the decentralized, which will become centralized cryptocurrencies as well. rebranding the banking system more than likely. So we'll see how that pans out, but expect more banks to really get into the crypto space. Then here's another article. Morgan Stanley says central bank digital currencies are not a threat. And so in the very first article I read to you, there was an analyst. Let me go back here. There was a Morgan Stanley analyst saying that, let me see here. It says a major move to introduce central bank currencies could actually disrupt the financial system. So this is a Morgan Stanley chief economist, Chetan Yahya. And then you go over to this other one here. And then it says Morgan Stanley says central bank is not a threat. So, make your mind up. Get your stuff together. Let me know what's going on back there. Get your stuff together. Get on the same page. All right. And then here's just Bahamas ranked first for retail CBDC development. So I would assume all central banks are keeping an eye on the rollout of the Bahamian dollar, CBDC dollar, and they're going to really mimic. And so, of course, the test pilots always happen to be in smaller countries. So the Bahamas is the first one rolled out, as well as with China. But China's going to take a lot longer because they got 1 billion plus people. And so in the Bahamas, it might be, a couple million at best. But yeah, if it rolls smoothly there, then the Federal Reserve will have a confirmation that it is something that they can consider. Now it's just a matter, will they be able to roll it out on a grand scale to make it suitable? But yet it's all in the works as the extra pyramids come crashing down. Anyway, so let's dive in. I don't want to talk anymore. I want to hear from you guys. So let's open up the phone lines. And as a treat today, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to give you a chance to join me face to face for a quick thought. So you can click this link here. Let me put the link out here for you. So anybody bold enough to show your face, I already have one person in mind that will more than likely is not afraid to show their face. And you can join me here by clicking this link. Let me make this available here. If I can, give me 1 second here. My mouse is not working. Okay. There we go. Okay. So if you want to join me, I'll put this in there. So it should be in the chat. So you guys can, once it loads up, it'll be in the chat and you can join me face to face. But let's talk. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on whatever's on your mind. Feel free to let me know. You are welcome to join me on screen for a quick thought. And then, share your thought or share your comment. I'm going to cut you off screen so so we can get more people in, or give me a call. Phone lines are open. I want to hear from you. So let's talk. But the guilty verdict, I think that's important. Because I was anticipating, off just first glance at everything that's going on now, how those that are trying to orchestrate this current collapse could use a little bit more chaos. Now, it's still early, because the weather here in Michigan is still cold. So we haven't really hit the full swing of spring yet. And we're always due for some type of social unrest because the goal is to divide and conquer. What better way to divide and conquer is other than to make it a racial issue as always, as opposed to we the people versus the centrally controlled bankers / cartels. That's what it should be about. And so once again, I was surprised to see that guilty verdict on 3 counts. But here's the thing. One of the things I was thinking about, he took that like a champ. He was sitting in the courtroom, hearing his fate, being called up by a judge, and he took it, no tears, no nothing. I'm thinking you a cop or you're a cop about to go to jail. They don't like cops in jail. I'm like, you ain't really concerned. So I'm thinking more than likely, once again, depending on how you look at it, I like to go far left field, bring it back home. I wouldn't be surprised that he doesn't really make it into a jail cell, a high maximum facility type of ordeal. He might get like a resort or like a one of those prisons. I don't know the name of one of those areas where it's you can come in and out when you please. You got cable TV, a cell phone, laptop type prisons. Because once again, the whole murder last spring. It was one of the things where everything looked suspicious. It was one of those things that was overly publicized and used as a way to distract our country and to keep our eyes on the racial divide. And it stirred up the whole push for justice and equality. And then it really got moving the Black Lives Matter sham, which we all know by now was a paid movement by a lot of people who you got people getting rich off that, buying 4 or 5 homes, profiting off of the death of other individuals. But it really got all that stuff into motion. And all that stuff to me is not coincidental. It's not accidental. It's by design, in my opinion. So I don't really think I have my opinions about the whole situation, but I don't really think that cop is going to do the type of time that a lot of people in Minnesota might be relieved that justice was served. And then another thing is, one of my biggest issues is that we meaning the majority of the people, are not really looking at the true essence of our problems, which happens to be with our monetary system globally and how it will impact our financial system here and how it will disrupt our economy, therefore causing a lot more issues in our own personal lives as far as how we live, cost of living standards, stuff like that. And so there's always some type of event. And of course, when it comes to the race divide, good versus bad, black versus white, yellow versus green, now they got up some type of activity where they're beating up Asian people in the streets. Yeah, come on now, like is that like just, do black people really get off on beating up Asian people? I've never seen that happen in my life, but who knows? Because they're always considered a minority in this country. But there's gonna be more events, is what I'm getting at. And I'm thinking, like, with all the cases coming up, there's been a lot of cop killing young kids around the country, so there's gonna be more trials. And so once again, there's gonna be more people expecting the same type of verdict as we get ahead in the weeks and months and years or whatever. And all along, there cannot be justice in a falling world. Like, sin is systemically enrooted into our existence on this planet. And what I would have liked to see, I saw Biden get up and talk about justice, and this could be the time for change and social this and that, whatever. I'm thinking, like, it would be good. And I'm ranting too much because nobody's called in. But it would be good to see our leaders, those that are in charge of this country, in different positions, where governors, presidents, whatever, acknowledge that there's a real issue, an underlying issue, a sin issue, and that our country has gone so far downhill. Our country is decaying from sin at the roots. What happened to repentance and returning to God? Like, let's call for a national day of prayer. Let's pray this thing out type of situation. But I'm probably asking for too much. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Okay, so I am missing some calls, so forgive me. I'll put some thoughts on the screen here. Mike Chapman was smart enough to keep his words silent. Yeah, but what could he have said, James? Like, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, or like, what can you really say after you step on a man and you struggle, regardless of all the health issue, all that other stuff we're told? What can you really say? Anyway, let's talk. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike. This is Casey calling from Fort Worth, Texas.
Casey from Fort Worth. What's going on, my man?
I watched the whole Donovan thing, or whatever his name is, and Mike, I kind of think, I kind of speculate that it's somewhat of, like, I guess you'd say, an inside job. Whenever all these riots and stuff, first of all, the timing for all the riots, whenever all the stuff first happened. First, the bubble popped on Trump's watch. Then, they started all the riots, and I think they're kind of trying to punish Trump in some sort of way.
Yeah.
But, anyways, they never talked about. At least I had never heard the media talk about how him and Floyd were bouncers at the same bar, and Shonovan's neighbors never knew that he was even a cop. And whenever Floyd had his memorial, where he died, there's a trash can. They put 666 on it, on his memorial. So I think that they're kind of like saying, they're rubbing it in their face, saying, "Yeah, this is all just a joke."
Yeah,
and we're all manipulating all these people. So I kind of think this whole Donovan thing is. I speculate. I don't know for sure, but I speculate that it's fake.
Yeah.
And two, what Maxine Waters did made a perfect chance for them to appeal the court.
Yeah.
Or appeal the decision. So I think they're just going to totally tick off everybody if there's a new case.
Yeah.
And then he gets not guilty, and then everything will just blow up.
Hey.
So I kind of
that's a setup.
I'm still not. I think it's not over yet.
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you calling and sharing that thought, and definitely that is a heck of a setup. But thanks for calling in, man.
Thank you.
Yep. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello.
Hello. How you doing? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Mike? This is Ricky Rax from Newark, California. First time calling in. First time checking in.
Ricky Rax, appreciate you. What's going on with you, man?
What's that?
What's going on with you? Good. Thanks for calling.
I just want to make a quick comment. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The SDR is a one world currency, and XRP is the intermediate between all that. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you. I'll answer that off air, my man. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Be
Thanks.
good.
Bye.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ricky, appreciate you calling in, man. And so I've been talking about this for quite some time now. It is, I mean, you stated it like it's already fact, and that's what I've been screaming all along. And so the whole introduction of the blockchain space was designed for this exact moment in time. XRP and maybe even Stellar and Ethereum are part of the equation. And so I think Ethereum has turned into the best test subject for the scalability of so many programs and networks and all that other stuff on one blockchain. And of course, we're getting all the other ones around that doing the development and really building out this infrastructure. But all this, I believe, is funded by the central banks themselves because they need this technology. And of course, XRP is probably the preferred and chosen ledger because the UK is already doing some stuff with it. And I got more people in the crypto community that's put me up on game as well, that there's a lot of other countries that are on that same blockchain. I know that Stellar is being used by Argentina and Brazil because I've done some research myself on that. So, yeah. So here's what I believe. Vitalik, McCabe, I think, from Stellar, who also created XRP, and all the other crew. Like, if you go to their boards and executive teams, all those individuals from different projects, they have been contacted by the powers that be, the central bankers throughout the years. A lot of the funding, I'd imagine, comes from the companies that own the beneficiaries of this technology, i.e. the too big to fail banks and all those. Think about this. I came across some information, and I wish I would have shared it. I probably did. But if you look at all the small LLCs out there, Bitcoin, this company, and digital ledger, this company, digital asset, conglomerate, 6 or 7, 8 companies, all are cover-ups for probably the too big to fail banks to funnel money through to then become the donors for all these projects and coins because they need the technology. They need XRP to really scale to become what it is they need it to be in order to usher in the central bank digital currency. So all those currencies are right on time. And the unfortunate part, I think, is that it was a bait for the American populace and as well as a global population to buy in to the idea of blockchain being something that was intended for our benefit. Now, of course, it can be used for good, which we're seeing a lot of good things come from it. But then again, more than likely, evil tends to win in a fallen world. So that's why I don't hang my hat high on the fact that blockchain is here to save us from the bankers because they're benefiting the most from it because they get to use the creativity of these young, intelligent men and women that went to school to study computer science, got PhDs, and wrote their thesis on how to heal the world. The bankers are going to steal it to use it against us, So that's my little short rant and a nut spiel, if that helped. But anyway, I could go on and on, but here's the thing. So it's here. It's no fighting it. This little currency here is becoming, it's the number one. It's 1 trillion, going to reach 10, 20, 30 and a million. Use it as leverage for, benefiting your life now in the short term, because my personal opinion is that as this stuff rolls out, your greatest concern and my greatest concern is on the health side and how all governments are synchronized into pumping the agenda of testing so they can track you, so they can tag you. You can't get around that 3. So no matter how much you profit off of this space, you won't be able to profit and enjoy it without these 3 impacting your life in some capacity. So I'll stop ranting. I'm done. I'm not going to rant no more. I want to hear from you guys. Anyway, so we got a nice little long name here. It says, hey, Mike, all the crypto is a deception. Too many people are paying attention to it. They're using it as a look here and not where they're going. They use it all the time. Hey, yeah. And that's the thing. And that's why, mind you, I read the comments. I read some comments. Mike don't know nothing about blockchain, crypto, this and that, whatever. I'm like, okay. I'm not sitting in this chair as a person that's a complete naive and uninformed individual because, I personally have been exposed to the space for quite some time now. And I never bothered to preach this digital asset space / crypto space because I always believed in my heart that it was a trap door and something was going to give out at the bottom of it. So I couldn't preach it because I don't trust it. I'll use it. I don't trust it. Big difference. But then what I do have more confidence in is the get your weight up model. The idea that you can actually hold something tangible and physical at a time. Let me pull this article up real quick for all my people out here who probably joined in late. And so I started off by talking about the predictive programming that's going on with the continuous bombardment of just the words digital dollars. They're putting the digital dollars on the screens and they're talking about it as if it's something new in comparison to what we already have. We already got digital dollars. But what they're talking about now is a surveillance coin that has been promoted and pushed and encouraged by the adoption of this whole digital asset space. So anyway, so here's the article I'll start off with. But one thing I didn't talk about is you go down to the bottom. Why is this so detrimental to our financial sovereignty? Because they're calling this stuff digital money 2.0. It says, here's the too big to fail banks is talking about this. Let me zoom in so you guys can see what I see. And so here we got, it says Wall Street is growing in anticipation over the whatever. It says, quote, the race towards digital money 2.0 is on. Citigroup said in a report. Some have framed it as a new space race or a digital currency cold war. And so this is one of the too big to fail banks. One of the banks is probably taking on so many losses as a result of all these debt not being repaid. And they're talking about digital money 2.0. Who does it benefit most? I would imagine that entity there because they get to write off the old digital dollars and take on the new digital dollars that they are excited to talk about. But here's something I want to talk about. It says cash is going the way of the dodo. Because people have opted out for convenience with swiping a card and just using PayPal, Venmo, all that other stuff, cash has become less utilized. It already was becoming trash because of how they've weaponized it. But yet now they're saying that it's to your benefit because it makes your life easier. You don't have to carry cash. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. It's a trap. Anyway, let's talk. Hello, Carlos. Where are you calling from?
Mike, totally from Oakland. How you doing, bro?
TB, I'm doing good, man. Give me your thoughts on what's going on out in these streets.
Man, I wasn't even going to call in tonight, but you got to talking about that cryptocurrency, man.
Give it to me.
If you look at that article that was put out in Discord, that article states that it is Bitcoin and Ethereum-like.
Yeah.
It does not say it is exactly Bitcoin and Ethereum. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where most people in the crypto world get messed up because the bankers and the CBDC, they're working towards something for themselves. They're working for something for your benefit.
Right.
And everybody thinks that, oh, yeah, it's going to be XRP. It's going to be... No. They are doing something for themselves as far as the CBDC, and they need to do something for themselves as a retail. China already has the CBDC locked down.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now they have to come up with something for the retail. If the game's over.
Yeah. Now, okay, so now you're going to have to come up for retail. So basically on that statement, you're saying by China having a CBDC game on lockdown, by them having first mover advantage, because the world will have to connect to them in order to do business with them, they have an advantage. And so on the retail side, what type of additional rollout can we expect here in the U.S. if it's not going to be just a Fed coin or it's going to be something else or what?
No, China done told you it's going to be Demi. It's going to be the Facebook one.
Mm-hmm.
They already told us that. And everybody seems to think, no, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. No, China rushed to do this so they didn't have to do the Facebook one. And now the U.S. Who's doing all the talking of cryptocurrency? It's the Five Eyes. Mm-hmm. It's anybody that's on the U.S. side. Nobody on China's side is talking about it.
Right. And so even the news we're getting here is all in regards to how the China is looking to disrupt the dollar. They're looking to, to take away this and that, and we need to respond type of thing. Like from a like we need to act now type of movement, as opposed to the fact that it's already done.
The move's already been made. But the flip side of that is now we got to talk about, there's cybersecurity. There's an EMP grade happened through China. So we got to, and that was an article that came out today. It's like, we got to watch our back because, there's an EMP that they could do. Biden signed an executive order today on that.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Give me the rundown. Give me quick.
I'll put it in the Discord.
Okay.
I've seen it come up. I'll put it in Discord. But yeah, Biden signed an executive order on cybersecurity.
Oh, okay. If that executive order is valid, because I think we're really in martial law, but I'm gonna leave that alone anyway. Okay. So put that in Discord, man. I'm gonna grab it and look at it, man. Thanks for sharing that one.
Brother.
All right.
Hey, I think LBP's trying in some FaceTime. I don't know what that number is.
Okay, so I put the, let me see. Okay, so let me get this call here. I put the video link in, so he should be able to get us. So thanks for calling in, man.
Bro.
Yeah.
Keep your head up.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike, how's it going? This is Charles out of Atlanta.
Charles out of Atlanta. How you doing, my man?
Pretty good. I just wanted to bring something to your attention. If you do a Google search, China came out yesterday or day before yesterday and said that they see Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a great alternative investment. So they just endorsed it.
Yeah.
So that means that no matter what we say regulatory-wise against crypto, we can always just cash out in China if we need to. And also remember, China has, 10 or 15 mega cities they built that are just sitting empty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So even if you're not accepted with cryptocurrency in America, you can always go to China because they just officially gave it a blessing in their country. So they're ready for a mass exodus out of America because a lot of people are going to get up out of this country, whether it be with gold or silver or cryptos, because America, as we know it, it's pretty much done.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's been headed that way for quite some time. So it's nothing new. It's just interesting to see how the sparks fly with the excitement of the cryptocurrency space, the talk of the digital dollar and the digital central bank digital currencies and cash is just trash. And financial wealth destruction, man. People are being slaughtered and don't even know it, man. I was watching a video earlier talking about how it's going to alter people's concept on work. Like, the whole idea of work, to actually exchange your time and labor for something in return, to set some aside, let it grow, and then in 50 years you can retire to then enjoy the proceeds from that. How all that's being destroyed right now, and people don't seem to see it that way. So, yeah, but it is what it is, man. But so we talked about that a little bit last night, so I'll put it on the screen here, man. So thanks for sharing that again.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I missed last night's session, but I try to tune in as much as I possibly can if I'm not working. So
yeah, it's all good, man. Insight, because we always gonna touch the same subject matter because it's always something new, a new angle. So appreciate you, man.
Oh, no problem. Have a great night.
You too. All righty, so I appreciate that. So it looks like we might have a visitor. Let's see if we can get him on here.
Hey, Mike. Hey, I even dressed up for you. Look at this.
Go Suarez. Look at him himself. I can't hear you though. Let me cut my volume up. 1 second. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. How you doing, man?
That's cool. How's the volume now? Everything's good?
Yeah, everything's good. You looking fly there, man. How you doing, Mr.
I know. Look, this. I got this when I came from Cuba. When I got on that 55-gallon barrel when I floated over here.
What's going on, man? With you? How you feeling?
Land, I don't know, this crypto. It's like a thorn in the side of my.
Mm-hmm.
If it was gonna destroy the monetary system, it would have already done it, or it would be illegal, Mike. They wouldn't be. They're letting this thing go up. You remember when supposedly Trump slammed it with the futures market? You remember when they slammed it down?
Yeah.
And I don't hear too much about that. They could slam it down again.
Yeah, but I think as of now, as a response to what China just did, I think Biden and his whole SEC, CCC, all them acronyms, they're going to have to respond in a more favorable way because they can't now, as the caller just mentioned, they can't call themselves closing the door to that space when China gives it approval, because that's automatically going to lead to capital flight where all the creativity, the entrepreneurs, all the Bitcoin millionaires, they're going to just leave and up and head out east, which will further destroy. So I think they're about to become more favorable to crypto space. For the goal of continuing to pump things up, buying them more time, and also putting us in a situation where they're going to probably flip the script and say taxation on capital gains, unrealized taxes. If you benefit any whatsoever off that space, we want a little bit more. We want double type of thing. So, yeah, they just, give it a thumbs up and then tax the hell out of it. I mean, that's kind of what I anticipate coming, probably definitely by next year. So this year, tax terms, yes or no. Next year, yes, no, plus all your addresses. And, where we can find you at, at this time, so we come get it type of stuff.
Look, I'm going to, I should have been ready. Look, I'm going to get my tinfoil hat. I don't know can you see it? Check it out. I've been peeling a little bit of foil off it because, these conspiracies, they start coming true. You see, every time it comes true, I peel a little piece off here. But anyway,
tinfoil hat, man, that outdoes my hat. I must admit. For those that might be new, I got my tinfoil too. I keep it next to me because sometimes I go far
there we go.
left field.
This is the Chinese going on. Hey, but look, this is what I think about that Bitcoin stuff. I think all that stuff came out of a laboratory in Los Alamos. This is my hat talking.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
And this all a setup, Mike. They know exactly whoever created Bitcoin. They know how to hack it. They know what the heck
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
just gonna wait, and then they're gonna get them all. Once the nets are all out, they're
Mhm.
gonna pull them up and get everybody at once.
Now watch this. I heard something today that really, more it feeds into my skepticism about this whole space anyway, is that, and then let me know, I know we got some crypto people out there. I think Darryl, I saw you out there, confirm this for me. But, I think if I'm not mistaken, the NSA created the whole SHA-256 algorithm protocol or whatever that Bitcoin itself is built upon. And so I'm thinking, like, if the SHA-256 or whatever else is out there, whether it's higher or lower, if it was created by man, I would imagine that in creating it itself, you would automatically have or know how to do something to counter it. You know what I'm saying? To backdoor it or something in code, right? It's like, creating in an evil scientist, people create, something that can wipe out the world, but then they create the antidote for themselves just in case they're infected. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to, just put something out there that's going to kill the world, but then themselves fall victim to it. So they create one little vial for themselves, and they might multiply for their family. And so that kind of seems like, that I wouldn't be too far fetched. You know what I'm saying? You create something, have the world's smartest people build on it, and then you got a little something on the side that you can come in and inject the last minute to cure the globalist ill of having people call themselves getting rich on the surface. So that's just me. I could be wrong, but it just seems like that could be in the ballpark, right? That's not too far left field, is it?
I think you're right on that one, Mike. Hey, did you see that Elon Musk got that contract to go to the moon? I like Elon.
Yeah,
like Elon. Why don't you go and get the old Saturn V rocket and over there and where is it in Cape Canaveral and use that again? Why are you gonna make a new one?
Yeah. So LBP, looks like we might have a little party going on here. We got Mr. Diddy Prep in the building. How you doing, man?
Y'all?
Hey, how we doing?
Doing good.
What's on your mind?
I just want to kind of go over this whole code thing. So anyway, listen, go to the websites themselves. Go to their websites. People need to wake up. Read what they say about the jab, and then make up your mind, because they're not hiding a damn thing. They're telling you. So it's not a conspiracy theory. Go to Moderna's website. Go to the respective websites and read. They rely on the public to be stupid and just listen and then obey. And people do exactly that.
Yeah. And a lot of that has to do with the normalcy bias. Like, people don't want to accept that change has already occurred, and it's easier to fall for the lies of, let's get back to normal. Play your part. 6 feet, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it makes it easier because you get sold the fact that your life's uncomfortable a little bit now because you can't see your grandma. Go ahead and get that thing in you, and then you can feel comfortable when you go. I'm like, huh? Okay, sure.
But not only that, Mike, they're saying you still need to wear that thing on your face even after you get jabbed.
Wow. So how does it even effective if you got a social distance? And I think about this. All the smart technology that people have in their homes. That's why the commercials here in Carolina, even if you're in your house, you have to social distance. Why the heck would that be if they couldn't track, watch, and monitor you or observe through audio through all your smart devices that you're not doing that very thing that they told you to do?
Right. Especially if it's a 5G device. They can pinpoint you down to the exact.
It's just sad it's gotten
spot
this far.
in there. Yeah, man.
It's sad it's gotten this far. I mean, here in Carolina, I'm not in a major city. I'm not in Raleigh, Charlotte, Durham. I'm outside of that. So it's a lot more relaxed, but I haven't had not one encounter, and I don't wear a mask after I get off work. In any store, Piggly Wiggly, any of these stores, I've never been approached. I went to Discount Tire to get a tire plugged and tires rotated. Literally, everybody wore a mask except for me. Nobody said a word.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to get by now because most people are so conditioned. They don't think about it. Like it's a feeling of you get out your car and forget your cell phone. You're like, damn, I got my mask. You know
Got my mask. I literally go to the stores and watch people get out of their car and before they walk in.
Go back.
They put their ritualistic shame muzzle on.
I see when they go back to the car. You know.
Yeah,
back
it's
to
not
the car,
the phone.
and then they come back with a thing on their face.
Yeah, but
hey,
if the push is going to this digital currency and Bitcoin and all this, like I said, if you're paid in it, you have to open a wallet, or they're going to give you a wallet. They'll pay you in it. Where was your investment? It's a lateral move, zero investment. So for everybody that's investing in it, suckers.
Hey,
I'm gonna do a lateral move. If that's the case, then I'll just do a lateral move, and I've invested nothing, and now I'm getting paid in it.
Yeah. So the goal would be get in when it comes to the digital dollar CBDCs, as it's given to you probably next year through some type of universal allowance or whatever. Get in it and then exchange it right into something else right away. You know what I'm saying? Buy something right away, or I think paper dollars are still going to circulate for some time, so you might want to just pull them out the ATM and get back.
I do that every payday. I do that really faithfully.
I try my best, but I fall victim for the ease of just swiping sometimes my damn self. I do keep some cash on me now more than as I try to. So, but anyway, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for joining me on screen, man. Absolutely. It's always good to talk.
Take care, LBP.
Appreciate it. All right, you too, sir. Thanks for having us. All right, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. I appreciate that. Let me acknowledge this super chat real quick. Vinny says, Mike, I've made millions off of crypto. No matter what we have to survive and thrive, I'd much rather be in crypto right now than anything. Vinny, hey, man. And that's the thing. I know where you're at with yours, you know what I'm saying? But I also know that you know where it goes back to. You know what I'm saying? I'm more than confident that you've been getting your weight up because we've been talking about this for years. So make a killing. And then do what you got to do with it. Use it for your advantage. So, hey, more power to you, brother. Appreciate you for super chat. All right, Mr. Call. Give me a call in. Love to talk to you. So, yeah, man, good stuff. You know, and that's the thing. The technology is here to be utilized. If you are in on it, get what you got to get out of it and enjoy it. That's what it's for, man. It is a tool. That's another thing. So I don't want to get too carried away and you know, like, you know, the for those that are familiar from a scripture biblical standpoint, you know, it's the love of money is the root of all evil, the love of it. And so it's one thing to make your lifestyle revolve around profits, gains, making money, spending money, yada, yada. It's another thing to use it for good as a tool. That's what it's for. Like, you know, the Lord gives us the power to get wealth. To why? Use it for his glory and to benefit him. So you get a little piece of the pie as well. Make sure it's used for the betterment of others. That's just my 2 cents. Anyway, so I'm missing some calls. I'm trying to get you in, but I'm getting ready to dial back as always. I can't. I don't really know any in depth about people's financial situations. James, hello, Carlos. Where are you calling from?
Mike, it's Dwayne from the Midwest. Long time, buddy.
Dwayne from the Midwest. How you doing, man? What's going on with you?
Pretty good, man. I've been missing you, man. I've been at work, man. You've been coming on early, so I was missing the call, man.
Yeah, I got to juggle my schedule accordingly, man. I try to get on here just to make it consistent day to day is my goal. But anyway, what's going on with you, man?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I listened to everybody the whole game talking about this crypto thing, and I just want to put on my team for a hat. You know, remember when they was talking about that the credit swap? Because there was like an alternative. What if Bitcoin is like the what they would call the credit swaps, where everybody acceptable to it, and then all the countries use it, but yet in order to get out of it, they can tax it because you have to get out of it into a fiat currency. Like no matter where you go, you're gonna have to get out of the crypto, or it's going to be denominated in a fiat currency, which means taxes. So in a way, it's kind of serving like the swap, like a swap for all the currencies. Yeah. And another thing about that cryptocurrency, which is kind of scary, what you was talking about, you kind of touched on a little bit when you said that there got to be, if man created it, there have to be some type of, they have to know something that we might not know.
Yeah.
what kind of, when you talked about that, what kind of got me was when China said this month that they have a digital yuan that has an expiration date on the currency.
Yeah.
So what if all these crypto millionaires don't know that there's an expiration date on these Bitcoin? Because they don't want that many millionaires just randomly walking around, buying up resources.
Yeah. Anything's possible. I at this current moment, man, the stuff we've seen, stuff we've heard, I wouldn't discount anything. I know one thing. One of the best advantages for the blockchain and digital currency space, which excited me, pre 2017 when I was looking at this space and involved in this space, is that at some point it'll be useful to use the blockchain, Bitcoin, whatever, for direct transactions with other individuals and not have to go back into a dying currency. And so I think the use case right now, especially, would be moving forward, being able to use it as peer-to-peer payments for direct goods and services without having to go back into Federal Reserve notes would be your best bet. But my personal opinion is, because we haven't even reached anywhere near the true price of those assets, because they're not done creating QE and stimulus checks and all that other stuff, I don't really see the purpose in spending, unless, of course, you're using it for some strategic purposes to generate cash flow, yada, yada. Okay. But other than that, it's just like it can serve as a sponge or as a wealth absorber as its transfer occurs to where, why put it to use and risk being taxed on it right now? You know what I'm saying? That's my 2 cents. But yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah, but you think, so if they're gonna, the only thing is, how can they, one thing about it that is good about it, how can they get somebody out that trade? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When trade get caught, I don't see, if everyone, and then if you're gonna use it, you still have to report it. It still becomes a taxable event. Like if you go out and buy something, you have to liquidate it. So it got to become a taxable event. So you have to keep the bookkeeping on that.
Right.
So you just can't use it and say, okay, well, I use my crypto and I don't have to worry about taxes because I just didn't put it on cash. You technically, from the tax code's perspective, you're still using crypto. So personally, my thing is and I'm gonna let you go. Personally, my thing is with all this, what crypto has been the biggest blessing for the fiat currency.
Yeah,
I truly believe if the crypto was not there, all the theories that you would have about the crash of the economy, it literally saved the economy. That's why people that have been economists for years can't figure out what's going on. Well, the reason why you can't figure out what's going on because money has another place to go besides, commodities and other and stocks and bonds.
Right.
That's the caveat. That's the so crypto is really a friend to fiat currency. That's why I said in my opening statement, it really serves as a credit swap for the nation. Yeah. And that's all I got.
Hey, appreciate you, man. That makes sense to me. Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Yep, no problem.
Oh man, good stuff. Yeah, that's real. We wouldn't have as much excitement in the financial markets during a monetary reset unless there was something to excite people, and the idea of profiting off of this destruction via crypto. So, yeah, very timely, and it has stole the thunder of gold and silver because they don't want people to know monetary history. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Mike, what's going on, man? It's Crypto Karan from Chicago.
Crypto Karan, how you doing, man? What's going on with you?
Hey, Mike, one more day, man, before Frank and Mike goes at it. With the other Mike, the fake Mike. And you the real Mike.
Appreciate it, man.
One more day before they get at it, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, man, because, the more I just listen to people talk, man, it's clear to me that people don't understand it, man. They don't understand, Bitcoin. They don't understand cryptocurrency. Now, I only like to say cryptocurrency because everything else is a shitcoin except Bitcoin. You know what I mean? It's really Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And, I just challenge people to go back to all the articles, all the artifacts about the internet back in the day and how the internet was dead and how email was worthless and it's not going to exist. And, it's a ploy by the government because now they want to read our mail. I want all my mail to keep on through UPS and the post service because if they get access to our mail, then, they're going to steal our, it was always like that, and all the way back to where, I think Henry Ford's lawyer, advise him not to do that, not to make the car.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Henry, come on, man, the horse is not going anywhere. Like what? You know what I mean? So like, I just say this, man. I'll challenge everybody, to just do your research, man. It's very important, man.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean. You don't want to be.
Yeah.
You don't want to be. Well, he say my people perish for lack of knowledge, man.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
So that's all I got, Mike.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Good to hear from you, boss man. Be good. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, people, we're approaching the hour point, man. And as always, you know how we do it. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. If you have enjoyed the back and forth, I see a lot of chit chatter in the chat about cryptos and whatnot. And so, yeah, once again, it's just a tool. Use it to your advantage. Don't let it use you. And so if you've been blessed enough to be able to profit off of it, do your thug thizzle. But if you haven't, yeah, it's still not too late because they're not done printing, from a global standpoint, and I look at it. So in responding to some comments in the chat, somebody asked me my thoughts on, how, with cryptocurrency becoming more popular now, it's going to surpass the market cap of gold and silver. And then, if we were to go back to gold and silver, how would you spend it in this new economy? And my response was, you don't spend it. Gold and silver are anchors. Gold and silver, to me, is the equivalent of having sponges, like, having as many sponges as you want. What are sponges for? They're used to absorb stuff. You spill something, you absorb it. The water or whatever you absorb is still in the sponge. It's just no longer in liquid form. It's in the fibers of the sponge. But yet you can take it, freeze it, unthaw it, and then squeeze it. The liquid's still there. Right now, liquidity is coming from every place on this planet, from every central bank. Your gold and silver are sponges. You just put them out. You put them there, let them sit, let them absorb all this liquidity. And then when we transition into the next monetary base, you drain it out into whatever currency is currently prevalent, wherever it be CBDCs, Bitcoin, cryptos, or whatever. Then you spend it. You don't spend your gold and silver. You sit on it. Let it do what it do. It's been here forever. It ain't going nowhere. Now, some people say asteroids and all that, whatever. Regardless, it's still unique in of itself. Why? Because it's been here from day one. And it's going to be here. It's going to outlive man. You know what I'm saying? So Bitcoin, I don't think Bitcoin is going to outlive man. That's my personal opinion. But that's just me. But I can go on and on and on. And I'm not. So Philman, I see what you put right here. It says, question RTD, what are your thoughts on the other precious metal like rhodium going for $28,000 an ounce and osmium, the rarest metal in the world? So Philman, good question. I don't follow rhodium or osmium. I wasn't even aware of that being a metal. So I don't follow it. But yet that's one of those things where it comes from the earth. And as I've always said, and but a lot of people may not be familiar with this, but the best form of wealth preservation tools, in my opinion, outside of the new invention of the digital asset space, okay, it can be used as a transfer of wealth for sure. But the best and most trusted and reliable form of wealth resides right here in front of you. It is the core essentials for humanity. Everything you visibly see with your naked eye is on this periodic table in some form of capacity. Plastics, woods, aminos, skin, water, your body cells, you name it. If it has physical form, it originated on this periodic table, and therefore it is of extreme value because it's what we use for housing, clothing, shoes, motorcycles, rubber, you name it. So if you can get a hold of anything on there, whether you invest in the mining side of those things or be able to hold them tangibly, you have the foundations for wealth to transfer into the next paradigm. So that's just my 2 cents there. But yet, once again, if it's on the periodic table, get yourself some. It won't do you no harm. It'll do you better than holding on to pieces of paper and digits in an app on your phone that has counterparty risks that can make it very hard for you to, retain your wealth. But I can go on and on, people, but I'm not because it's getting late. But I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. If you've enjoyed this, as I mentioned, hit that thumbs up button, show your boys some love, because as I mentioned, the algorithms, they're playing with me. So nobody gets notified, nobody gets informed. And so if you want to get informed over live streams, beneath this video is a link to connect via email. And I tend to shoot out an email a couple hours beforehand, giving you a heads up as to what time we're going live. And then also, as I mentioned, I'm trying to shake up the format a little bit to add a little bit more spice to the channel, trying to get as many people informed as I can. So I need your help. So if you haven't subscribed, click the like button, share this video, and recommend it to your family and friends. Let them people know that there's this crazy guy from Detroit out here talking nonsense. Have him come over and prove me wrong. And I love that. So that's how I learn. But anyway, James, I like that. Well, Mike, we're going to walking on gold in the streets of glory for eternity. Yeah. And so, Jane, that's a great thought, man. But yeah, keep in mind also that the New Jerusalem, it comes to earth. And earth that we are on now will be reformed in some form or fashion resembling that. But I wouldn't necessarily, basically the new earth as it's unveiled will be similar to what we have now, but in its perfect form. Therefore, gold, who needs gold? You know what I'm saying? We on a perfect earth. Anyway, that's just me, man. Anyway, I'm done ranting. I'm done. I promise you I'm done. Anyway, appreciate you guys for hanging out. See you guys later. Peace.